Welcome to episode 70 of We Have Issues. I'm Anthony, and my co-host Stephen Todd isn't available today, so I can't really tolerate that kind of tomfoolery. To be honest with you, we created this entire podcast because Stephen has issues creating the comic books, and I was like, we need to hold each other accountable, mostly hold you accountable, and make sure that you get your stuff done. And you know, mostly it's been working. Unfortunately, this week Stephen had a migraine, like some terrible situation with his head, and it was just like not great. Now I couldn't force him to come do a podcast with me. I was like, Stephen, I can make you do a lot of stuff. I can be like, draw, you know, like draw my face over and over, draw this guy, draw this bear. Like I can get him to draw stuff, but I can't in good conscience be like, you're sick, get in front of the camera, ha ha ha. So what I did is I created a robot, which I have this remote for. So Stephen Bot, what do you have to say?
And I'm Stevie Wildbot.
Also, I learned to change forms.
Hell yeah.
Stephen Bot, you're amazing. You're working exactly as I expected, just perfectly. So we'll keep checking back in Stephen Bot and seeing if you know how his program's updating and such. But every week we get together and we do our best to just overcome our various issues and make books, make comic books, make something creative in the world, which is rough sometimes. It is hard, the world and creating things within it. I have so many freaking issues. Anyone who tries to be creative and live a creative life at any age, really, just like you know, it's tough out there right now. It is tough. I mean, it's always hard. It's always a struggle to balance, you know, the various potentialities of human existence. You know, it's just like, what do I do? But it's difficult, okay? Because we have so much going on at all times. But it's tough knowing, like, sort of like the scope of potential, what you know, how you could spend your hours on the freaking planet, not knowing how many you're going to get, and everything is opportunity cost. You're like, and it's really hard to stay in the moment and to think like, you know, if I'm doing this right now, that means I'm losing out time doing something else. Like right now, I'm talking to this camera instead of writing, so it's like, oh, is this defeating the purpose of the podcast itself? And you know, like, is the podcast and having to edit the podcast taking up time for the, you know, from the comic book? It's removing my ability to write time, at least in the chunk of time it takes in order to do this, which is like self-defeating. What are you doing? However, it has totally been working. It's totally keeping us accountable. It's keeping us happy. It's also having the positive effect of getting some people interested in our projects. So if you're watching this right now, like, hopefully you've supported our previous project, Played Again. A lot of you have. A lot of you did. Like, so many people showed up for us, and I've never been more thankful for anything in my life. It is incredible. I mean, that's not true. I have, like, an amazing son. Like, I don't want to... I was actually thinking about this today. Like, it's not even fair. Like, they say, you know, like, you get what you can handle, and apparently I'm a baby. Like, I can handle nothing. I'm just like, I need the easiest, best boy in the whole world. And like the universe was like, okay, fine. And I was just like, I get the kid with like the best temperament, who's hilarious and creative and just like lovely in general. And it's just like, anyway, super thankful for him. That being said, otherwise, also super thankful for Steven, my family, all of you. Like, it's amazing. But the fact that people actually showed up, I was becoming cynical. I'm gonna be like, I'll be completely honest with you. Anyone out there, like, I'm sure a lot of you are, you know, creatives, like writers, you know, and artists, people, filmmakers, people who make things. It's a lonely freaking journey. You know, you feel like no one really cares, and even when the people like say they care, they're like, oh, I'll be there for you. These 5 words, I swear to you. They're freaking not. They're like, I'll see you later. Like, and it's hard to even get people to like hit subscribe. Like right now, like I can't tell you how many times I've just basically begged people to push the subscribe button below. Like, we get all of these views, you know, week to week, and like some videos get a lot of views, but the subscribers just kind of like, they don't stagnate. They escalate so slowly and regularly. Like, it's regular, but it's so slowly that I'm just like, I'm glad it's organic, and hopefully it's meaningful because it's more of a quality over quantity thing. However, at a certain point, like, I'm just like, please just subscribe, just like put your hands in the air, like you just kind of care about us a little, you know. However, it's like, it can be so freaking lonely and weird and like discouraging, and you constantly feel like no one gives a crap. Stephen Bot, have you felt that way?
My hair is nicer than Dina's.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, Stephen Bot, for your input. So, see, everyone's going through it. So, thankfully, a lot of people showed up for our previous book, Played Again, and it went really well. The reviews have been fantastic. I've sincerely cried several times just looking at the reviews and the kind words that people have taken their time to say, because like I was saying previously, like, there's an opportunity cost and everything. People didn't have to do that. They took their time away from watching like Spider-Man No Way Home again or whatever to go and read our book and review our book, and like that's incredible. You don't have to do that. But they did, and they showed up, and they keep showing up, and you keep showing up, and we're just so freaking thankful.
Anthony, will you teach me how to love?
I am this close to shiny Charmander.
I choose you.
So yeah, it can be so lonely and weird, and it feels like, and sometimes it just feels like no one's there. Like, so after that, it's just, we've had random dips in the podcast, or that, people can be negative, and people can like, just like disappear. And like, sometimes I kind of justify it where I'm like, like our Christmas episode got like no love. And I was like, oh, I don't know about you, but for me, every time I'm editing this, I'm constantly trying to imagine how it will be perceived, and just like flash forwarding into the various potential realities in which people have responses, where it's just like, is it too boring, is it too long, is it funny at all, am I just talking too much, is Steven not talking enough? Speaking of which, Robot Steven, how do you feel about me talking too much?
Don't make it weird.
Anthony, you are so funny.
Ha 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 ha. Classic Anthony.
Thank you. See, that's what I'm talking about. So I'm constantly have all these weird little insecurities, and I don't know how to feel. So what'll happen is, as I'm editing the podcast, I'm just like, no one's gonna like this one. This one's crap. This one's garbage. This one's not good. No one's gonna care about this at all. And in almost every case, in almost every episode, people show up and people comment. And people are just like, oh, that one was funny, or I like this part and I like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for like this, like these little bits of validation, or like because it's not even validation. It's just like the confirmation, really, or it's just like, I'm glad, because when I'm doing it in the moment with Steven, we're talking, I feel good about our conversation. It's all just like an authentic conversation, and it feels like we're accomplishing something. I planned it out, and I'm just all excited about it. But then when I'm editing it, I'm reliving it, so I'm thinking of all the things I wish I said different, or all the jokes I wish I would have made. Blah, blah, blah. So then when people finally like it again, I'm like, oh, I was just being like really harsh on myself, and that sucks. But what happened was, our Christmas episode, I was like, this is a good one. I nailed it. I got it. This is my best episode. We're so good. And no one watched it. Like no one showed up, which is totally reasonable. It's Christmas. It's Christmas time. It's hectic. And then there's New Year's right after that. Like, so then it's like, we already have a new episode. So people are like, I'm not going to go back to Christmas. Like, who wants to go back to, like, maybe people will watch our previous, maybe we're going to be like a year behind with every Christmas episode, where like in the Christmas season, someone will catch up on our Christmas episode. But anyway, I was just like, but it feels so weird to be like, oh, I thought that one was good. And then people just don't show up for it. We're like, no, is this indicative of like more absences? Like, and you start like spiraling. I do the death spiral of insecurity, where I'm just like, but that kind of thing is so frustrating, because then like every other insecurity, like it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, because if I care about it enough, I will drive people away with my like incessant nonsense and be like, well, why don't you watch my thing? Why don't you watch my thing? And then they're going to be like, now I want nothing to do with you. Like, you talked until I hated you. But yeah, it's weird. Like, making stuff just like, you get all in your head and you get all stressed out about it. But I love doing this podcast with Steven. It's a lot of fun, and it gives me the opportunity to just kind of like vent and get some of these frustrations out, or like just like get these thoughts out. I have these random freaking like shower thought dad jokes, like just all day, every day. Is everyone like this? Does everyone else's brain feel like a radio, where you just kind of like change tune? Like, it's just like, oh, something's going on. Like, and if you don't like it, you're just like, oh, I better get off that channel, because it's gonna like brainwash me into thinking the world is on fire again, which like maybe it is, but like, new channel. Come on, I don't have time for that. I'm gonna stick my head in this sand over here, and like the radio dial on this side. Do other people do that? I really wanted to ask Steven about that tonight, but I mean, obviously he's not here. But do you have like hypothetical conversations with people that you interact with or don't interact with throughout the day? Like, if someone makes a face at you, do you have like a quick like hypothetical like tete-a-tete? Like do you have like a
Negatory.
Does not compute.
Access denied.
do you play out the movie of what could have happened in various instances of every interaction that you have with people? Because I do. And then I like project interactions before they happen, where I'm like, oh man, what if this happens, or what if they say this, or what if she says this, or what if he says this, and what if and then like it'll be a full conversation. And of course, like, I don't necessarily know every single human's character, so I'm just kind of like And I think that's what kind of keeps me as sane as possible. But like, I think that the fact that I know that I don't necessarily know helps, you know. And it also does it helps me feel like I'm training for something, you know. It's kind of like training with worse hypothetical characters in my mind makes me feel better when I meet people in, you know, meet space in the outer net, and I'm just like, I have interactions with them, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't, you didn't even try to jump kick me once. Like, you didn't try to collect any of my teeth. Like, in my brain, they were just like, give me them teeth, and like kept trying. And I was just like, you're gonna get some, but not all of them. And I was like, I'm not. It's weird. It's weird how much kung fu my brain thinks it knows. I am not fast. Anyone else realize that they're not fast in their adulthood? Like, I tried to run and I was just like, oh man, I should probably work out, and I'm not gonna, not soon. I mean, like, I want to. I'll lift weights, but I'm not training for the Olympics. I'm not trying to like be the one who like gets to go fight the Martians or like fight in the Coliseum on Mars. And like, I'm not, maybe I would be John Carter. I don't think I'd be a good John Carter. I don't know. Anyway, Steven, what do you think? Would you be a good John Carter of Mars?
I'm Stevie Wildbot.
Strongest Avenger.
Ha 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 ha.
I agree. I think he'd be fantastic. But I've so much going on in my life all the time, and it's just like I feel really good when I get anything done these days, which is good and bad. You know, it's just like there are pros and cons to being like, oh, anything will do. You know, like that's not the way I feel with most things. You know, like I think that's good. I think it's good to have standards beyond just like, well, you know, I'll take what I can get. So I'm trying. You know, I'm trying to get things done. I'm trying to make things. I'm trying to continue with the podcast while creating other content and doing whatever I can. But I don't know. Like, I've been trying to get people to subscribe to this thing, and I just like, I don't really know what to do aside from continue to do what we're doing and try to make little changes here and there. But then what happens is, like tonight, I planned out a podcast. I was like, every week I have this whole book that like every issue we've ever done of this podcast, I've planned from start to finish, like what we're going to talk about. And I try to bring it through like a kind of hero's journey situation. I bookend everything. I try my best to like create themes. Today, that was just completely like thrown out the window. And like, there's nothing I can do about that except for improvise, you know. And I don't expect anyone to even watch this now. Like, and that's also in my head. So while I'm talking to myself right now, looking at my silly face in Zoom, I'm just thinking like, is anyone going to make it this far in the episode? Because it's just me and Robo Steven. And I'm not sure. Like, I think Robo Steven might sell it. Robo Steven, sell it.
No.
No way, dude.
Wildbot.
And that's why this is our most popular episode yet. Robo Steven and I, we're going to take this home. That's like, so everyone, I just want you to know that I'm doing what I can. I'm doing my best. I'm making comics. My plan this week is I'm going to finish writing this book. So if you've supported Play It Again, if you read that at all and you enjoyed it at all, just, I hope you're excited for our next book because it's going to be so much fun. I have not come up with like a concise elevator pitch for this thing yet. I really need to do it. I need to start working on a way to sell this to people in like a minute. And I like, obviously being concise is not my strong suit. I have to write things and rewrite things. I am a writer. That's what I do. Like, I don't think I'm particularly clever extemporaneously. I don't think I'm someone who, I can come up with jokes. I can come up with clever things, but in the moment, I am just this whole like windbag of nonsense, and I don't know what to do with myself. And that's why like I need a Steven. I need someone to like kind of course correct and like put some meat on my weird skinny bones and be like, you know, yes, I need Steven's meat. I said it.
Access denied.
Ha 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 ha.
But yeah, I've been living a whole life. I've been trying my best to write, but this week I'm going to finish that book. I'm also going to just do other stuff. I do a weekly movie night. If you haven't joined us for Weird Movie Wednesdays. I've been doing like random movie reviews. I've been doing on the Patreon. I do Ranthony Rambles almost every week. I'm always kind of grinding my gears so I can do what I can to make this podcast just a little bit bigger, a little bit better, a little more interesting to people, and try to like kind of spread the scope of, you know, who our potential audience might be, or, you know, like, I don't know. All I know is to do this and just be this guy. And that's like, what else am I supposed to do in my life?
Affirmative.
But I'm trying, you know, but I'm also a single dad. I spend a lot of time I spent a lot of time on the floor. I spent a lot of time. I've been shoving pillows in my shirt and like wrestling my son. Like I'm just like I'm out there kicking a soccer ball and pretending I'm Dr. Robotnik. Like what do you like? That's my life. I don't know if any of you watch my AMA. You know that my life is odd and interesting, just like everyone else's probably. Right? Like I imagine everyone has fun, stupid, terrible, hilarious, and boring stories, just like me. Lately, I've been trying to get out there. I've been trying to like be a whole person, more. I started getting kind of cynical for a while. I started feeling like I shouldn't be dating because of the opportunity cost situation, where it's just like if I'm dating, it means I can't be writing anything, and if I'm not writing anything, I'm not working toward my goals of just being a writer, which is like I'm like spinning my wheels and eating my tail. I don't have a tail, but like in this, shut up. So yeah, I did this AMA, I did the drunk AMA, and I was just like, I'm gonna go for it. And I was like, I drank so much that night, and if you watch it, you can tell. I didn't edit it intentionally because I thought it was going to be funnier. If you can see all the times my drunk self was trying to like reset and be like, oh, you do better, and then just couldn't, I failed slightly less each time, which is good. Like really, practice makes progress, and I'm all in for that.
Anthony, could you teach me to hug correctly?
But yeah, like that night I got so drunk and I was just going crazy in my head. But I also just didn't want to be alone. I didn't want to talk to myself, and I was just like, look at this is what I'm doing. I was talking to myself,
And I'm Stevie Wildbot.
I'm Stevie Wildbot.
I'm Stevie Wildbot.
Well, I'm sorry, Stephen Bot. I'm not talking about this. Stephen Bot, what do you have to say? Like, what do you think of No Way Home?
Darkwing Duck. Let's get dangerous.
Have you seen the latest episode of Don't Make It Weird?
Affirmative.
Agreed. So, Stephen Bot, how do you think I'm doing so far?
Fuck, I spilled my tea. God damn it.
Yeah.
Ha 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 ha.
Not good. So that night, I downloaded 2 dating apps. And just set up profiles and was just like just matching with strangers. I was like, so it's just window shopping potential futures, I guess. It's like, that's what we do? Like dating apps are so weird, because of course you have the opportunity to just like superficially swipe based on looks, like read a book by its cover, or you can look slightly beneath that iceberg surface and be like, what's going on under there? Do you actually post anything, any of your interests and such, and you read about the person, you learn more, and then you peek, further beyond the iceberg. Why are people icebergs? I don't know. It's a metaphor. People love that metaphor, right? Like an iceberg metaphor. I've never seen an iceberg. I'm never going to see an iceberg in my life. The freaking James Cameron brought an iceberg to us. He showed us that they're the devil, and that's all there is to it. Like, why would I even? But anyway, so you have the opportunity to see the various levels of people before meeting them in person. So I downloaded these things. I'm just like superficially swiping. I'm like occasionally reading things when I'm like not sure. I'm like, whoa, I can't tell if you're a person who likes Taking Back Sunday. I'm like, wait, what? What am I'm suddenly 20 again. Like who am I? I'm a grandpa. Look at me. So I matched with people. I matched with a couple of randos. Like how it goes. Like just you like a couple of people. I'm just like, oh, they thought they liked my silly whatever I wrote about myself, and I like their face. I don't know. Like I was very drunk, and I'm like, admittedly. And then like the next day I sobered up, and I was about to delete, I was going to delete it. But then I looked and I saw one person. I was like, I'm going to talk to you. And I started talking to her, and I ended up thinking she was really cool. So I wanted to meet her, and I met her, and it went surprisingly well. Like just went really well. And I was just like, I didn't expect any of this. I didn't plan for this. This was not on my episode list. What am I doing? I told her that. And I was just like, I didn't plan to date at all. I didn't plan to meet anyone, let alone someone I actually think is interesting and like kind and creative. Like she plays music, she reads and writes. I've never dated anyone who's also been a writer before, which is really cool. Today she was trapped by cows. Stephen Bot, tell me how dangerous cows can be.
Research has indicated that rabbis convened once to decide that consuming blood is, in fact, okay for vampires because life comes first, so they do not need to keep kosher.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So today she went on a hike, and she was all excited to go on this hike, and she was just like, oh man, I've been through this trail before, and it's so great, and it's very beautiful. And you know, like there's sometimes I see wildlife, and it's really nice. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool. Like I'm stuck at work, and you know, I'm gonna go pick up atlas, and I'm gonna do all this stuff. But you know, like I really hope you enjoy your hike. I didn't expect to hear much from her during the hike. Like I'm not gonna be like, you better like message me during this hike. Like no, go have fun. But what she did is she started Snapchatting me throughout her hike. So she's like filming herself and like filming the wild, and you know, the you know, just like the bush and the trees and like all the nice stuff. And then she came upon some cows. So it was just like a nice casual stroll, and she's like, oh look, cows. It seemed like fun, but then it became utterly preposterous. I'm trying to milk this story for all it's worth. Don't have a cow. Just let me get through this. Oh, Stephen Bot, do you have anything to utter?
Anthony, would you like to invest in bitcoins with me?
So she's walking, and these cows suddenly take over the path in front of her, and she's like, okay, what am I supposed to do? So she's kind of like laughing, and she's like filming, but then they're sort of encroaching on either side of her, so they're just all around her. So she's hiding in a bush, and she's filming herself and like snapping me, and she's showing me what's going on. It's just so freaking funny. So the cows are going by, and she can't do anything about it. And then she starts getting scared because one of the cows, like a male cow, a big old bull cow, starts like making sounds at her, and it's kind of like getting aggressive. So she's getting scared, and she's filming herself, and she's just like, I don't know what to do. So she's staying really still, and she's trying to just like Waldo it up, where she's just like, no one can see me, I am the bush. So the cows are, you know, steadily encroaching on her you know, area, and she's just making her way through. And finally she gets through, and you know, it's like everything was okay, but she didn't know what was going on or how long she was going to be there, and she was just like filming all these cows and laughing about it and just having like this fun time. It was so much fun to like that someone wanted to share that stuff with me. It felt good. I think what happens in my head, you know, due to, you know, terrible situations that I've had in my life, you know, it's just like when I think about relationships, I often think about just bad stuff, and it's not even necessarily like the bad things that'll happen in a relationship, but bad things that can happen, but just the bad things that happen in life that you're going to share with a person, where I'm just like, oh, well, if I get in a relationship, that means I have to go to every funeral they're going to go to, which doubles my funeral time. I don't want to see that many caskets. I've held so many caskets already, and I'm only grandpa age. I'm not even great grandpa yet, and like here I am like carrying bodies all the time. Like I'm done with this. But like maybe it's worth it if there are enough good things. I don't know. I don't want to be the person who defines something by the worst version of the thing, or like the negative aspects of the thing, just like this, you know, like I said about the, you know, the stuff. You know, I'm just like, I can't let the trolls or the negative people or the people who want to say terrible things or just hate for the sake of hatred or whatever they get from it. Like, I can't let the Colin Robinsons of the world win, you know? So that being said, I'm freaking trying, and I'm gonna end up going to some funerals. That's just what's going to happen. I'm gonna end up going to more weddings and birthday parties and stuff. I'm probably not gonna love all of it, and I think that's okay, because I think in the grand scheme of opportunity costs, it's probably better to be there for someone so they don't have to do it alone, and because they want me there, and it's nice to be wanted somewhere, just like, you know. I'm hoping all of you want us in your lives and want our books in your lives, and we want you in our lives. So yeah, I've been seeing someone, and so far it's going really well. I haven't wanted to talk about it in the podcast because honestly, every time I bring up anything positive on a podcast, people for some reason don't like it. I'm just like, I mean, like, it's not like everyone, but it's just like I don't see like a lot of constructive like joy from my joy. I just get nervous because every once in a while, like in, you know, previously in Anthony's life and on the podcast, anytime I talk about like dating, our views stay about the same, but like people, the response seems to be a little more negative. Like people aren't as vocal about the episodes. I'm just like, come on, like let me have this. Like I'm trying, you know. So I don't know, but I'm just, like, I just wanted to give a quick update because I'm dating someone and it's actually going pretty well, and I'm really happy about it, and I think that it's a good thing. I think that I'm in a good place, and I'm creating a lot of stuff, and I'm still able to get all my work done. I'm still able to do the podcast. I'm still a good dad, and I'm still like, I think this is going to be a really great year for us, and I'm really excited about everything that's happening. Stephen Bot, how do you feel? Are you excited?
Hell yeah.
But we have to stop the bloodsuckers.
Ha 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 ha.
Thought so. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. If you're only listening on one of the various podcasting apps, hop over to YouTube and just hit the subscribe button for us. Like, I would really appreciate it if you just subscribe to our channel at youtube.com/wehaveissuespodcast. We're there. We're on Twitter at twitter.com/wehaveissuespod. You can find all the links below. We're here for you every single week. Check out our channel. Go look at our country music vampire Christmas song. I don't know if everyone watched that, but like, that was one of my favorite things that we did all last year. I mean, last year was a lot of fun for the podcast, and like, I think that it really kept our morale up a bit just doing this, because otherwise it would have, I don't know, it was a bit of a year for everyone, I'm sure. The last couple of years have been. But I really hope everyone has a fantastic year. I really do appreciate all of you watching this and listening to this. Thank you for tolerating my nonsense while Steven's been away. And Steven Bob, what do you say to people before we go?
I'm Stevie Wildbot.
Ha ha ha.
Wait, my tea. Hold on. It's whistling. Hold on.
I agree wholeheartedly. I love you, Steven Bot. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. Steven, I will see you next week.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Ha 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 ha. Classic Anthony. Oh, hi. You're still here. You know the show's over, right? But the show continues over at Don't Make It Weird. Check us out on YouTube. Don't Make It Weird on YouTube.